Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to really cut through the noise and pull out the key insights from interesting sources. Today, we're getting into harmonious aging, a senior health companion. The goal is basically to give you the most valuable stuff without you having to read the whole thing. So our mission, if you will, is to extract the practical wisdom. We're looking at its core ideas on healthy aging itself, then strategies for joint pain, which is huge, ways to boost memory, heart health insights, some really practical sleep tips, and of course, nutrition advice.
Yeah, and what I think is really valuable about this senior health companion is how it's not just like separate topics thrown together. It seems carefully put together to show how these different parts of well-being, joint health, memory, heart, are all interconnected. It helps you see the foundations for, well, vitality as you age.
Exactly. Think of this deep dive as your shortcut. You get to be really well informed on these vital areas. Hopefully you'll have some aha moments, get a solid understanding, but without feeling overwhelmed. Ready to dig in? Let's see what this guide really offers. Okay, so the guide kicks things off by defining harmonious aging. This is not just adding years, but adding life to those years. What's the core insight there?
Well, what's interesting is the strong emphasis on being proactive. It argues that harmonious aging really depends on keeping a sense of purpose, always learning, not just managing the physical stuff. It really highlights social interaction and staying curious as being, just as vital as exercise. Adaptability seems key, rather than sticking to super rigid
That's a
routines.
great holistic view to start with. Okay, so moving from that big picture, joint pain.
Yeah.
Super common, lots of advice out there, but what specific actionable things did harmonious aging highlight for you?
One thing that really stood out was the focus on consistent, low-impact movement. Specifically, it recommends these short, frequent movement snacks during the day.
Movement snacks. I like that.
Yeah. Instead of just one long workout, right? It suggests even just 5 minutes of walking every hour can seriously improve synovial fluid circulation. And that's crucial for cartilage health, reducing stiffness. Often better than just resting completely when you feel pain.
Okay, movement snacks, definitely memorable. So beyond physical comfort, the guide moves pretty smoothly into memory improvement. Our brains change, we know that. What techniques does it actually outline for keeping sharp?
So this section brings up something called contextual recall exercises. It kind of advises against just rote memorization. Instead, it suggests linking new info to things you already know or to sensory experiences, like learning a name, visualize the person somewhere familiar, or connect their name to a strong image. The idea is to build this sort of web of connections in your brain, not just isolated
That
facts.
sounds much more, well, intuitive, doesn't it? Less like homework.
Yeah.
Okay, now, heart health gets a big spotlight too, obviously critical. Any key insights there that maybe aren't common knowledge?
Well, one thing the guide really stresses is the direct link it draws between chronic stress and arterial stiffness. It actually has a section on practical daily micro-meditation things.
Micromeditation.
Yeah, even just like 2 minutes of focused breathing to help lessen that stress impact. It also subtly points towards omega-3s, not just from fish oil, but plant sources too, like flaxseed and chia. These have anti-inflammatory benefits that seem to directly support, cardiovascular resilience.
That's really practical, linking mental calm directly to heart health.
Mhm.
Okay, shifting gears again. Sleep. Often overlooked, but so fundamental. The companion offers tips. Anything stand out as maybe counterintuitive or surprisingly effective?
Oh, definitely. It really pushes back on the simple 8 hours fits all idea. The focus is much more on sleep quality than just duration. It's just this thing called a digital sunset, starting maybe 90 minutes before bed, just completely eliminating screen time, that blue light
A
exposure.
digital sunset, great
Right.
terms.
And also, it really advocates for a consistent wake up time, even on weekends, which, might seem tough.
Yeah, sleeping in is tempting.
It is, but that consistency really helps regulate your body's natural rhythm, your circadian rhythm, something people often overlook.
Makes sense. Okay, and rounding things out, the guide covers essential nutrition insights. What are some of the core recommendations for fueling ourselves well as we get older?
It does a good job of boiling down complex stuff. It particularly highlights the importance of gut microbiome diversity. So it really emphasizes eating lots of different plant fibers, fermented foods, linking gut health directly to how well you absorb nutrients, your immune function, even your mood.
Wow.
Yeah, all critical for this idea of harmonious aging. It's definitely moving beyond just counting calories to focus on nutrient density and that whole internal ecosystem.
Okay, so let's just quickly recap this journey through harmonious aging. We pulled out some really key things, from that idea of proactive engagement and movement snacks for joints to contextual recall for memory, that stress heart health link, the digital sunset for sleep, and the importance of gut health for nutrition. Quite a range.
Exactly. And the point the guide seems to make implicitly and explicitly sometimes is that these aren't just separate tips you can pick and choose from randomly. They're all interconnected parts of a bigger picture, a holistic approach. Understanding how they play off each other, well, that's really about enriching your quality of life, not just adding years. It's about vitality.
Right. So thinking about that interconnectedness,
Mhm.
what does this mean for you listening? Here's something to ponder, building on what the guide suggests. How might focusing on improving just one area, say you really commit to that digital sunset for better sleep, how might that create surprising positive ripple effects elsewhere? Could better sleep actually mean your joints feel better because you recover more overnight? Or maybe your memory sharpens because your brain consolidates information better? It's interesting to think about, isn't it?
That really leads to the core question, I think. How does actually recognizing this interconnectedness, seeing the specific links the guide points out, like stress and heart health, or sleep and memory, how does that fundamentally shift your day-to-day approach to achieving what it calls harmonious aging? Maybe think about which specific connection we talked about today, perhaps one you hadn't considered before, really resonated most with you.
A great question to leave things on. And with that, our deep dive into harmonious aging, a senior health companion, comes to a close. We really hope these distilled insights have given you some valuable things to think about. Thanks for joining us, and keep exploring.